Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. Thank you so much for watching this video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a 2016 Mercedes-Benz GLC-300 4MATIC. It's a really neat vehicle. 2-liter turbocharged engine, tons of torque, incredible dynamic suspension system, and a beautiful interior. This is an excellent vehicle. We're going to go over the interior, the exterior, how to work the features inside, the radio system, climate system, the different specs, and I would also like to thank Shine Shop Automotive in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this wonderful Mercedes-Benz. Check that out. I love that. It's a backlit LED Mercedes icon. That is so cool. Let's take a look at the heart of the beast. You know something that's kind of intriguing to me? Let me get around here. Can you see all the room that there is in that engine cavity? It's like from that wall of the front of the engine all the way down to there. It must be a foot at least of room. You know what that says to me? That there could be a little engine here, possibly a V8, maybe of quattro liters that would have 2 turbos. I don't know, AMG version. That would be kind of hot in this thing. Put some wider tires on it, maybe a little bit bigger brakes. Oof, that would be a feisty machine. And that leaves plenty of room for an engine of such size. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? The GLC is powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine with direct injection with 241 horsepower and 273 pound-foot of torque. That's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters. It has 4MATIC permanent all-wheel drive, an eco start and stop system, and that allows you to have the engine cut off whenever you come to a stop to save fuel economy. It has dynamic select, and that is a system that allows you to change from eco, normal, sport, and sport plus driving modes to change the driving dynamic of the vehicle. The standard wheel size on this is 18-inch, but this one has the optional 20-inch black multi-spoke AMG wheel with high-performance tires. And this one in particular has Bridgestone Dueler HP Sport tires. And the size of those tires are 255 45 R20. You can see those drilled rotors there. Those are some big old rotors with a ventilated portion there in the middle to prevent overheating or help with overheating and reduce brake fade. And that thing's got some stopping power there. I love the look of those wheels too, how they're painted black on the inside. It's got the AMG wheel upgrade. Really good looking. You can see at the very top here you have your panic alarm button. That is your lock button. On the bottom left you have unlock and then the rear hatch. In the bottom of the key you have a little lever that you can push to the right and pull out a key that's hidden inside the key. It's embedded. And with this key you're going to unlock the driver's door. You'll actually pull the handle open, stick this key up into a little slot, and it will open a plastic piece off of the door, which will give you access to a keyhole to put into the door. You can unlock the door, and then you would get in and plug this into the ignition, and the car has enough, or the key has enough battery in it to start, at which point you would need to have the battery replaced. Now you'd only use this if you approach the car and nothing works because the battery in this is dead. So what we're going to do is press unlock, and whenever you press it twice, all the doors unlock and the mirror just folded out, and you can see a little light right there under the mirror, and you've got your LED lights here on the front, you've got your LED lights in the back, and you may not be able to see it right now, but there are LED lights that are underneath each door handle. And I love the design of that, and we'll take a look at that in a second, but I love that design because that light is extremely bright, and when you pull the handle open, it kind of fully reveals the light. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. And then what you're going to do to lock the doors is press that top button, and the doors will lock. And another thing that I like is how far the mirrors fold in. You can see that it looks like they're kind of folded up a little bit. And then all along the side of that mirror is one really long LED light strip. And that's a really nice thing. If you are turning and you've got your signal on in opposing traffic, so if the Mercedes were facing us, you've got your mirrors here and here, you can really see those LED light strips lit up really, really well. It's really nice. Then we're going to pop the trunk right here. Just hold that in. And then I can take that and hold it in again, and it will close. You heard those audible tones there to let you know that it was doing something, and that would be opening or closing the door. And then when you want to get into the vehicle, all you do is carry this on your person. It's in my pocket right now, and you can approach the vehicle. You can see by the little stalk there, the doors are locked. So I'm just going to grab the door handle, and they unlock automatically. Mirror folds out, revealing my puddle lamp here. See that? Then these are the lights that I was talking about. You see that? And that's really nice and bright. And as I open it, you see how it like kind of fully reveals that light? That's just a great idea. You know, I'm under all these big lights under here in this in the shine shop, but I would imagine that if it were really, really dark outside, that would just be really, really well lit. Looks good. And there are your LED lights I was talking about, and I love the tail lights right there. They have a really good look to them. And then whenever I'm finished using the vehicle, I simply close the door, and you can see that little square dimple right there on the outside of the door handle. All you do is touch that, and the doors lock, mirrors fold in. And it's super responsive. As soon as you touch that, boom, it takes place. And another neat thing that I noticed is that you can actually touch, it seems like you can actually touch that metal portion just barely over that metal portion. My finger was like right there. I know I'm getting kind of geeking out on that handle now, but it's just really nice for something to respond that fast. Now the fuel door is linked to the locking and the unlocking of the doors. Oh, one other thing, all 4 door handles are responsive. Several of the vehicles that I have reviewed before that have this type of smart key technology, only the front doors are touch sensitive. I love how the fact that your back doors are also touch sensitive on this vehicle. All the doors are unlocked, then I can press that and it opens for me. So now I can close that, I can lock the doors, and now watch. Nothing. If the doors are locked, that's locked. Doors unlocked. Check it out. It opens all the way. Let's take a look at the back. You've got a rubber handle right here in the middle, directly below where the Mercedes-Benz icon is, and you can just pull that open once, and then boom, it opens right up. Okay, let's take a look at the back, at the storage area in the back, and how the back seats fold and operate. The storage area in the back is nice and roomy. I like how the side walls are flat. In a lot of SUVs, you've got this hump that kind of protrudes out of the side and is for the wheel well. But this one is nice and flat, so you know exactly what you have to work with if you have boxes that you're lining up against these walls. You also have a lot of storage capacity right there for various items. Tonneau cover here, and whenever you take that, you can pull it out and just kind of let it go up into that groove there. You see how it raises up? You have these grooves that these tabs run along, and in other SUVs this is just a kind of like a free floating system, but this system has these grooves, so you're not, when you get to the point where you're gonna latch this, you're not looking for it and kind of searching, you just go up with it. That's a great idea. And then you can take the handle here and you can just push that way, it'll collapse. You can pull the whole thing right out. There are switches on either side toward the back there, and another one there. They're little silver switches, and that's what is going to fold that seat back down. I'm just going to pull it, and it folds it down. Now it does fold down pretty aggressively, pretty quickly, and it is a manual folding back up. However, it's not heavy at all. You can just do that, and it goes, you can see how loose that is, and it folds right back in. You can pop it into position. There's also another switch here, and it does the same thing. 12-volt power outlet, and it says max 15 amps. Plug in different things there, maybe a laptop, other items. There's a hook there to hook in your grocery bags. I like this all-weather cargo mat, and whenever you lift that up, it reveals a trunk that is lockable, and you can pull that up and check out that extra storage. That's a tremendous amount of storage in addition to what you already have, and that is because you have run flat tires, no jack or anything. Okay, so without the a spare there, you've got a ton of room under that. Let's fold up that other seat to give us an idea of the kind of room with the seats folded up completely. That's your complete storage capacity, your cargo area, with that second row folded up completely. Also notice another nifty little thing is that you can take this seat, or the center portion of this seat, and fold it independently of the two ends, so it makes it a 40-20-40 split seat. 40-20-40. Nice. So you can carry long items and still have two rear passengers. You can see there is a little dot right there, and that's going to be embedded into the rear of the vehicle down low. There's another one here, and that's going to be part of that park assist system, and that's what causes it to beep if you get too close to something at parking lot speeds. I love how that piano black trim there. You also have dual exhaust, pretty good looking. This is a feisty little vehicle too. We'll talk a little bit about the engine here in just a second. The interior of this door is really nice, and we're on the passenger side in the rear right now. And this, I know a Mercedes is definitely a luxury vehicle, but this is like high-end luxury looking. Check out the Burmester speakers there. That just looks like art. And then you have your wood trim, contrasted stitching, power window switches there, and your door handle. And I love that brushed aluminum trim and how all of those elements come together just to kind of complete the luxurious look of that door. Storage. From the back seat, the view is really nice. It's interesting to see how the leather looks in a Mercedes versus other brands. This does feel a little more firm, and I do believe it's because it's the MB Tech, but it still has the nice stitching there, and it still looks very much like a luxury vehicle. Air outlets here, and that will cut them on and off. Multi-directional, so you can just turn that, move it left and right. I have this down right now, but you can easily take that and move that center armrest up, and then you can pull that down. And whenever you pull this down, it's going to reveal your armrest and a couple of smaller cup holders there. And I've got plenty of room. That front seat is back pretty far, and you can see there my knees. It's a good idea to have that cutout there because it gives you several inches of extra space. But I'm over 6 feet tall, and that's very accommodating. I would be very comfortable up front in that seat as well. So it just goes to show you that you could get a 6-foot person in front of a 6-foot tall person and both be very comfortable. Down there in the very corner of the seat, you can see it says ISOFIX, and that is the designation for a safety regulation that is required for child safety seats. Underneath this label is a metal portion that you would hook a child safety seat to. You see that? And that's kind of like into the body of the vehicle. And you have another one there, and then you have two on the other side. So that would accommodate two child safety seats. Take a look at that panoramic roof. I love that. That gives it so much more of a big feel in a small vehicle. Starting the GLC is very easy. Once you get in the vehicle with the key fob on your person, at this point it's in my pocket, you put your foot on the brake and you tap the start button to go. And it fires right up. And I'm going to cut it off right now because we're indoors. I don't want to kill myself, is what I don't want to do actually. A nice thing is that you do not have a parking brake that you have to activate and deactivate by pushing anything down here. It is automatic, and that's a pretty handy feature. You have your typical Mercedes-Benz shifter stalk, and you press it in for park, and once the vehicle is running, you push it up for reverse, pull down for drive, and in the middle there is neutral. And over here on the far left side, right in front of my left knee, you have the controls for your headlights, and you can see straight up is automatic. They will cut on automatically as the sun's going down. And then here is parking lights on. And then over here is directional parking lights. So that's going to be the left side and that's the right side. And this is more of a European thing, so that if you, according to what side of the street you're parked on, you can give someone an indication as to what side to avoid if they're riding down the road and pass your vehicle. Auto, and that's lights on fully manually. You have a dimmer switch here for the interior lights, and then the control for your fog lights. The control for the brake is right here, and that is going to be the parking brake. And then you have a switch there, and that is for the rear hatch. So you can pull that down and it will open the rear hatch like I just did. Didn't actually mean to do that. It's pretty sensitive. But that's good to know that it works well. And the door, as I mentioned about the back door, this driver's door, and all the door panels for that matter, are just really pretty looking. Heated seat, 3-zone heated seat, so you can press that for press it in for high, medium, and low according to how cold you are. That beautiful Burmester speaker with that aluminum mesh. Memory seat system is here, 1, 2, 3, and so you would just press memory and then 1, and that would memorize your seat position, or memory 2, memory 3. This is going to be for the control of the headrest height, up and down. The seat back itself, you can move forward and backward. This moves the seat, the whole seat portion, forward and backward. And I love this button. This is for a real seat cushion extender. And you can see this seat cushion here. And I'm going to pull this, I've got it extended out all the way right now. So I'm going to push it this way back toward me. And you can see it actually truly extends the seat. There are some seat cushion extenders, or what companies call seat cushion extenders, that are nothing more than a airbag kind of that inflates and rolls out. This is an actual extender. Check it out. It makes the seat longer. And I know that sounds like common sense, but that's a really nice feature. Lock and unlock of the doors, and I like the placement of that, because if your hand is here while you're driving the vehicle, you're just like right there within reach of the lock and the unlock of the doors. And then you have your controls for your mirrors, and so that's going to be the left side and the right side, up, down, left and right. Power window controls, that's going to lock the controls for the power windows for all 4 doors. There's a little stalk here, and that is going to be to control the up, down, and out position of the steering wheel. So you can pull it toward you, away from you, up and down. Cruise control right here. And you can see accelerate, decel, resume, and off. All right, that's a pretty good looking display. You've got your speedometer on the left, tachometer on the right, gear tree right there in the middle, and then a multi-information display in between all of those things with your temperature in the bottom left and your time in the bottom right. And it's kind of neat looking how it looks like these tubes that are coming out at you, how that's designed. It kind of focuses your eye on the important information. When you press the home screen icon, it takes you to this main display screen, and it says trip, navigation, radio, media, telephone, assistance, graphic service, and settings. And I'm going to go all the way back up and start off with trip. I'm going to press OK. Eco display, at that point I'm going to press up and down, and that's going to give me all trip information that has to do with range and fuel economy, mileage, and all those things. I'm then going to press home again, and it takes me back to that main screen. Then I can go navigation and press OK, and then I can move up and down. Now, if I had a point of interest that was plugged into the navigation system, then it's going to show me more information about my trip right here in this main screen. Pressing home again, I have radio, and this is going to show me information about my radio system, and it's going to show me information about what is playing, the presets, all those things. I can move up and down right now and look at all the different presets. You can see 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And so those are going to be all my presets. And so at that point, if I wanted to select one, I could just press OK, and it's going to select that station to play right now. Pressing the home screen again, I can go media. And media is everything else. In other words, that is going to be your radio, your AM, FM, and XM is going to be on that last screen. Media is going to be everything else like Bluetooth, CD, things of that nature. And then I can press telephone, and I do not have a Bluetooth phone hooked up here right now, but if I did, it would show me information on that. Assistance graphic, how cool is that? And that's going to show me the information about my safety features like attention assist, and then my radar cruise control, all those things like that. And also check this out, it says last brake, so it can tell, it starts a timer as to how long I've been driving, and it can determine that if based on the input from the steering wheel, if I've been getting out of my lane too much, it's going to recommend that I take a break. And then service, it can tell me how many miles I have left until I need a service. And then settings, and this is where I'm going to recommend that you spend a good amount of time whenever you get one of these, so that you can actually get all of these settings exactly the way you want them to be in the vehicle. You pay too much money to drive around a vehicle that you don't know what you're doing. So go to settings and then mess with all of these different little settings within this. This is a tremendous safety feature setting. So collision prevention, blind spot assist, attention assist, there's blind spot. You can press OK to deactivate. I don't want to do that. I want that to be active all the time. Collision prevention, and that determines the distance between the vehicle and the vehicle in front of me, or my vehicle and vehicle in front of me, and when it takes place. I don't want to deactivate that. That's a great safety feature. Attention assist, standard, off, and sensitive. And that is the feature that I was just showing you that determines if I need to take a break or not. Then my lights, and these are all just settings that you really need to play with. And this is actually really easy to understand. These are all very, very clear, very upfront, and kind of let you know what everything is about. I also like how big that font is, and the how clear all the graphics are. It's a really good look. So that all happens right here. Over here on the right side, I have voice settings, I have Bluetooth, and then there is volume and up and down, and then mute right there for audio settings primarily, and Bluetooth. Nice little horn. I like the satin look here for that brushed satiny aluminum look, and then all of the leather wrapped around the steering wheel gives it a really good feel. Very nice look. Okay, taking a look at this whole big center console area, it's actually really nice and clean and not cluttered. I remember looking at Mercedes-Benz vehicles of the past, and in my opinion, there were a lot of hieroglyphics here, and it was hard to decipher just what was going on. But the way this is designed now, you've got this nice clean screen, climate controls, and then several controls for radio, media, things like that, hazards, car settings, telephone, cup holders, and I'll show you those in just a second. Dual zone climate control here on each end, and so you can control the temperature up and down here, and you can see that it comes up on the ends of the bottom of that screen. And to control that, or to cut the climate system off, I just pressed this touch sensitive pad. You can actually squeeze and swipe and move that around, and it's touch sensitive. So now I'm operating that, and you can see here that you can move it all around. Okay, now you've also got this menu screen, and I can press menu down and I can see climate system. So I can see 73, 74, and I can see sync, climate control on, AC, and the back arrow. I'm using now that touch sensitive keypad, and I'm moving it left and right and all over the place, and you can see how the different things change. I'm going to go down to the bottom of it, and there's climate control on. I'm going to press that and cut it off, and I just heard the fan cut off. I have a position here, and that's going to change the mode or the fan direction. That controls the fan speed manually. That controls it automatically, so you can set it like the central air in your house, and it'll keep the maintain cabin temperature at whatever temperature you set according to these far outer buttons. Maximum defrost, menu screen, rear defrost, sync, and that's like dual zone climate control. You can make them both the same temperature. Recirculate, the cabin air, and AC. And again, this is not touch screen, see that? But it is intuitive from this right here, and this is a touch sensitive display. I have a little star, pages icon, and then a back arrow. And I just press the back arrow from the climate screen, and it goes to the map. And at that point, I can use this, then I can push it across, and you can see wherever it's highlighted in the brown area is where I am on the screen according to the position on this mouse. Then I can flick it up, and I'm going to go up to navigation and radio and media and phone, all that. This takes a little bit of getting used to, and I recommend actually using it to your advantage and practicing with it. Now I also have a dial here, and I can use this to go left and right, and I can use it also to go down. So the gestures that I have here, I can go up and down, left and right by dragging across and going up and down and everything. I can also do the same with this multi-directional controller as well. So that can go, that's down and that's up, and this is left and right. Okay? So now watch this. I was just using this feature. I'm going to use this feature to do the same thing. Left, right, up, down. When you turn to vehicle settings, you can press down and it'll go into the specific vehicle settings for the vehicle. Acoustic lock feedback. In other words, is it going to make a sound whenever you press it? Alarm button. Easy exit and entry. It's going to adjust the seats for you and everything when you get into the vehicle. Exterior lighting. How many seconds do you want it to delay before it cuts the exterior lighting off? You can adjust that to how many seconds you want. Interior lighting, when you cut the car off, how many seconds do you want it to be until the interior lights cut off? Automatic locking. Locator lighting, that's pretty neat. You can see there it's going to light the LEDs under the lights and also cut the lights on to help you find the vehicle. and automatic mirror folding. I highlighted that in the very beginning. Great feature. Belt adjustment, and you can raise and lower the seat belt height. Alright, so those are really neat settings. And that was inside of vehicle settings. Then I can go to dynamic select, and this is going to have to do with suspension system and fuel economy and the way the gas pedal works and all that stuff. Now this is individual configuration. I'm going to press down, and at this point I can see modes. This is going to allow me to configure how the engine works, how the steering works, and how the climate control system works, and how the transmission works. Not transmission, the eco start and stop function. If the engine cuts off whenever you come to a complete stop or not. And then how your climate system works all while you're driving. Okay? I can press the back arrow again, and then vehicle data. Press down, and how do I want the comfort mode to work? This is neat. It says engine data, and you can make it display this while you're driving the vehicle, and it'll show you the temperature of the oil and the charge on the battery, and then your torque. You can see pound-foot of torque right there, and the horsepower output. Very, very cool. That's cool for you gearheads if you like to watch what's going on with your turbo. Owner's manual, and that's pretty neat. It will load the owner's manual for you, at which point you can pick anything to read that you want to in the owner's manual. You can search by keywords, animations. That's how I like to search because I like pretty pictures. Bookmarks, places you've been, help, language settings, and contents. And so really, in my opinion, there's no excuse for you not to know what you're doing in your vehicle, because look at here, it's all right here. I love this, Mercedes-Benz. You are genius for putting the owner's manuals right in the car electronically. Great, great idea. And then you can see a view of this, all that I've been using this whole time to control all of that is right here. And the dynamic mode select right there, this allows me to select Sport, Sport Plus, Individual, Comfort, and Eco. And now I'm going to be moving this up and down. This all has to do with how the driving behavior of the vehicle operates. And so I have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Individual. And you can see there it says adjust. So now I can actually adjust how all of these work. So this is like a personalized setting. You have a great big old place for cup holders and a little area here for miscellaneous storage. And I can lift that up, and there is an ashtray. That's actually removable as well. Lighter. Okay, everybody, that wraps up our view of the 2016 Mercedes-Benz GLC-300. Thank you so much for watching. I would also like to say another great big thank you to Shine Shop Automotive in Greensboro, North Carolina, for the opportunity to film this amazing vehicle, Lamborghini. And I would love for you to check out Shine Shop Automotive on the interweb. You can take a look at their website, shineshopautomotive.com, to take a look at all of the amazing vehicles they are able to service and all of the things they are able to do. It's incredible what those guys can do here. And if you would like to share this video, please do with somebody who maybe just got one of these vehicles, and also subscribe and give it a big fat thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and remember, enjoy the ride.